Hey there, Mr. Gibson. Happy holidays and welcome to art class. We are going to start a new project and it's going to involve paper, scissors, glue, maybe something to write with like a colored pencil or crayon. I would avoid marker on this one, and a lot of imagination. You're going to need some of that. Okay. And we are going to make paper landscapes using just scrap paper. If you have the art kit, there's some scrap colored paper in there. If you have another thing you're going to want is some background paper. That is your main piece of paper. That's what everything's going to go on. So this particular page is light blue just for some sky. You could use dark blue for like that dusk or kind of morning feel. You could also go with black, if black, like a night sky look. If you want to do like a nighttime scene, that's okay too. Um, the big thing here with this is that your ground paper, which will be white for snow, is the same width here as the background paper is. So they kind of match, and that's the key here. So this is a layered image of different pieces of paper, and this will also help us thinking in layers when it comes to our digital art too, because I want to start getting you thinking in layers, right? As in stacked up images or stacked up elements in your art. Okay, so let's move over to the document camera and make some winter landscapes. See you. Okay, welcome over to the document camera. What I have here in front of you is all the supplies you're going to need to start. You got your scissors, your glue, something to write with, and a bunch of colored paper. Of course, I have my blue and my white as the same width, so they will fit together in my landscape. I do want to say this. If you don't have all the colored paper that you need, but you have a bunch of white paper, you have two choices you can make. One, you could just get out your crayons and color that white paper whatever color you want. Um, the other choice would be is to watercolor this paper. So get your watercolor tray out and create some sky, create some other colored pattern paper that you can then go back and use and cut out to create your image. The watercolor tray idea would give you a very unique look. You can go and look at cartoons like Garfield, the old Garfield cartoons, or even the Charlie Brown cartoons that are on nowadays. And you can look at those backgrounds. A lot of them are watercolor, and they use a combination of colors and some salt to create a pretty cool effect in your background. And so, absolutely feel free to experiment with how this paper looks. You don't have to be stuck with just this look. Be creative, think outside the box, and you can create a more unique color scheme for your landscape. Okay, and so with that in mind, let's start. I want to move pretty quick here. You can always pause and rewind and watch again. All right, and so first thing I have to do is create my background foreground. You can draw a wavy line on here if that helps you. I'm just going to go for it. All right, and so when I cut a line, I'm just going to make it kind of wavy. I don't want to make a roller coaster line. I just want to make a nice, gentle, sloping hill. How steep the hills go, I guess that's kind of up to you. As you can see, I made a cut here, and that's kind of the wavy quality we're going for. You have two sides to choose from now, and I can put these on either edge here will fit this. I'm thinking I kind of like this one better, and so this is the one I'm going to go with. Now all I need to do is glue three sides of this, just three. And you'll see why, because we want to be able to put things behind the snow layer, right? And so if you did draw with your pencil, you want to put the glue on the side with the pencil so we don't see the pencil, right? And if you are watercoloring this paper, just color one side of it. We're not going to see both. All right, so now that I have my glue on three of the four sides, not the side with the wavy line, I just need to line up my corners and my edges nice and neat. And since it's wet, if you miss a little bit, you can always kind of push it over and get it to fit correctly. Okay, so now I have my background, I have my foreground, and I'm ready to populate the in-between parts. I'm going to go, you can do a brown house, a red house. I'd save green for tree colors. Yellow could be a good house too, but I usually use yellow for windows. Blue's a good window color too. You can take a strip of paper like this and make it smaller. We can create perspective by using overlap and size. Okay, do you see how these are the same size, but still overlap will still create the illusion of distance. But all I can do is just cut this smaller, and then I can make a smaller house in the distance, right? And so now we can start to create that illusion of depth. I want snow on my roof, so I'm going to make it white. And your leftover paper, that's going to be used. Don't waste it. And so I'll just cut a little triangle out of my paper. All right. So that's a little bit big, no big deal. I also want a flat roof, so I'm going to cut the tip of that off and just make a trim to have this fit a little better. Okay. Windows, like I said, I like to go with yellow. I just cut strips of paper and off of my yellow into these long rectangles, and then I just cut them into short windows. And so we're just using really rectangles, because squares would be perfect, perfectly the same on all four sides, which these are not. And let's see, what kind of door? I could go with the brown door. All right, I'll pull that out a little bit and get this glued. Now here's a little glue trick, right? You go roll up your glue stick just a little bit. What I do is like grab that. See that? Pick it right up. Saves me the hassle of trying to mess with that and end up bending it. And that's not good. We don't want to bend it. There's one window, two windows, and three windows. Or sorry, three rectangles, two windows, one door. Okay. Now I can just kind of get this tucked back in there. I'll glue that down first. Let's get this on there. Just going to put a little dot right there. I don't need much glue on my paper to hold this house down. It's going to be underneath this snow, so that'll help too. And then I already glued this. We'll get that stuck right to there. There it goes. If you get a little glue out of side of the window, if it squeezes out, just let it dry and it'll rub off when it's all dry. Right, so there's a house. I can do clouds. Do that real fast. I want to move a little quicker. I don't want this video to be too long. I want you working. So I'm going to just kind of wiggle the paper as I cut these, and I can get a nice cloud effect. Use the flat side of a piece of paper to make it look like it's floating in from the edge. If I do this with green, as you can see, I've already cut one out. I get a bush, and so I could put a bush right there. Trees, just a triangle. Just cut a triangle. If you want to make a little nicer of a tree, you'll wiggle the line as you cut it. Let the line kind of be wavy, and then we get to the point. See what I'm trying to do here? Pick that up. There we go. And so that's a little bit of a different tree. It's got more of a wavy look to it. I think it looks a little more like a pine tree. So those are the two trees you can do. Of course, you can make up your own. But for the sake of time on this video, I'm just going to show you some examples now. So basically, you want to create just a landscape. It could have a bunch of houses or a bunch of trees. Here's one I did. Here's another one with a brown house, just to show you a little bit of difference. And then I did a skating pond out of some blue. Remember, a water typically reflects the sky, so you want that to be the same color. Same with windows. Lights on, yellow. Lights off, probably going to reflect the color of the sky. Here's a log cabin I took a little further, so I actually drew on these. That's the last step you want to do, is actually draw on this. That's how I did the lights on here, my chimney smoke. Here's one that's just all trees, just to show you. You can create a forest. I do think a house adds a nice little element, though, so just a suggestion. So that's it. I'm going to switch over to the other camera and give a little wrap up here. Okay, that's it. Go ahead and finish your landscape. Take your time, though. Post it on Padlet. and I look forward to seeing it. I'll pop a couple examples of some student art right here. I think I can make that happen. And you can get a little idea of what other kids have done in the past. I'll also pop those somewhere on the web page, just like I'll make a little slideshow and you can get some ideas from them as well. All right, have fun with this and stay warm out there.